Hi guys, so the last week of our CS 102 lectures. So today's lecture will be short only because next week you have NSEMS and I don't want to burden you with too much information. So this will be just a brief introduction to stacks. So let me just share the screen. So, so in the VS Code, you just come to open folder, and on open folder you can come to June 29. So on June 29, I am coming to stack. Few of the programs of linked list 3 I am keeping in this folder. You can just execute and check. So June 29, you just come to stack and we will do stack programs today. Right? So what is stack and why do we actually need stack, right? So let us come to the drawing board. So stack is something you have already heard of, right? So what are stacks? So for example, you have a stack of books. Right? So what happens? So let's say this is book one. Let's say this is your shelf, right? This is your shelf. Let's say this is book one, book two, book three, book four, right? All your HC Vermas and everything that you all study is here. So we refer this to as a stack of books, right? So you must have used these terms, right? Of course, unfortunately, due to pandemic, you are not in the campus, or I would have given you an example of stack of plates, right, that are kept in the mess. So the plates are kept one above the other, just like you see in marriages and all those buffet systems, right? So these are now stack of plates. Now see, all these things have a unique property, right? Unique property as in, so let's say you are a person who wants to go and take the plate in order to enjoy the buffet, right? So what basically you will do, let me just change the pen color. So what will basically you do, this is like person one, this person takes the plate P4 and consumes it. So my plate is P4, right? Now let's say there is a new guy who is coming, this is person 2. Person 2 comes and takes the plate P3, right? So this is my plate is P3. So you can see that these guys have taken that plate which was at the top and not at the bottom. They did not like they did not first take P2, P3, P4 and then pulled out P1, right? This is not the way to do. You just take the top of the plate, whatever is available, and then you use it for eating food. Just imagine any marriage function or any get together where you go. We have a stack of plates. You just pick the top plate and then you take the food in that plate, right? You don't pull n minus one and then take out the most bottom plate, right? You would never do like that unless you feel to do something of a very weird kind of thing, right? So now let's say these two plates are consumed. Okay. So now what happens? Let's say there is a guy who is washing the plates in the kitchen and restoring them. So he washes a plate and then now keeps a plate above P2, right? This is the newly washed plate. Again, a newly washed plate is kept above P3. Again, the guy who is washing just keeps the plate one above the other, right? It just keeps one. He does not pick n minus one and then puts the fresh plate which is washed in the bottom, right? Never like that. Fine. So this is what the concept of stack is. The concept is whatever item you want to pick, you pick it from the top. And if you want to insert a new item, you insert it again at the top. Fine. Something like you just imagine a marriage function, as I'm again saying, because it is easier to visualize things, right? You picked up the plates and whatever new plates are washed, they are kept above each other. Fine. So now how does stack come into the, oh, just a second guys. Okay. So now this structure, whatever we are seeing, the property that new elements are added at top and removed from top is stack, right? So you can remember that in stack, I just remember when I used to study, stack has the word T, right? So basically we do everything on the top, right? We do everything on the top. So there is another data structure which is known as queue, which we will see tomorrow. Queue is something like you stand for a ticketing queue. Any new person coming for the new ticket goes at the back, and the person who gets the ticket empties from the front. So here we have to keep 2 pointers at the start and at the back, right? So right now we will be just seeing stack, right? So let me just take a new slide, have a pen color. Now there is always a limitation, right? So in your marriages, let's say 1000 people are invited. So you don't keep a stack of 1000 plates one above the other, right? Who will take that 1000 plate? So you always keep some kind of specific limit. So let's say you keep 50 plates. So you say, okay, this is P1, P2, whatever I'm washing, this will be my 50th plate, right? And then I can again make another stack from P51 up to, let's say, P100. So these are plates which are kept for the guests, right? So let me just close my Gmail. Yeah. So now what happens? Let's say there is one person who is coming and he comes and takes a plate, right? So this is P50 is the plate this person is having. Okay, the realignment caused an issue. Okay, so P50 is consumed, right? So he is now eating on this plate, right? He eats and keeps in the sink to get it washed. Now there is a guy, our guy who washes the plate, right? So the P50 now is washed and cleaned. So see, before inserting this into this particular stack, what the guy needs to check whether there is an empty slot, right? So we say whether there is an empty slot. Empty slot means, let's say there were already 50 plates here. So the rule is that you cannot place anything above 50 plates. The plates may actually fall down or the heights may increase a lot, right? So the washer will check if plates are greater than 50, if it's less than equal to 50 or not. If it is less than 50, say because we had a slot available on 250, so we insert at this particular position, right? So let me redraw again. So one plate was consumed. So we had P49. These were existing, right? These were existing. And now there is a new plate which is washed, and that will be inserted in P50. This is the fresh one. Now what would happen if there were already 50 plates here? So let's say there were already 50 plates here, P1 up to P50. This was existing, right? So in that case, there was no space. You can see there is no space here. This is the level of which you need to keep the plate. So there is no space here. So we will say that all plates are full. All plates are filled actually. all plates are filled. So I cannot insert a fresh plate. So either I have to make a new stack or I cannot insert in this particular thing. So now this implementation where you insert a new element at the top and you remove a new element at the top is known as stack. And you can implement stack in two ways. You can keep an array, right? So in terms of numbers, let's say I am having a number 10. So this is my top of the array, right? This is my top of the array. Then I insert 20. So 20 becomes my top element. Top element means in stack you can only access the top element. You cannot access any other elements, right? Just like in marriage functions, you only have access to the top of the plate. You don't remove any plate from the middle or the bottom, right? So now let us see. So remember one thing, stack has a special element known as top. What does top do? Top basically does is, top says, okay, what is the position of the top element? Top element. So let me take a new page and explain you what happens in a stack with an array. So P16 we are having a stack using array. You can implement stack using linked list also, that we will see later. Right? Let us come to the main first. We just do a system CLS to clear the screen. And see what I'm doing here. I can see here two functions which is known as push and there is one function called pop. So this is just computer lingo. You can just remember that push is basically insert, right? So you are pushing something into the stack. So that means you are inserting, and pop basically means remove. Pop is remove. But in terms of stack lingo, you say push and pop, right? Push means pushing elements to the stack, right? So push means you are trying to insert some element and pop means you want to remove some element, right? So in this case, you can see I'm pushing 10 to the stack, then I'm pushing 20 to the stack, then I'm pushing 30 to the stack, and then I am popping the stack twice. So let me first show you what will be the output here, 10, 20, 30, right? So basically what happens in this case is, so you have a stack. So let me just show you, they have defined something called as max. So max size is 5. So basically I can have only 5 plates or 5 numbers in this case, right? So what happens here? So you can see here I have 5 rectangles here which I can place the element. So what happens here, you can also see there is something called as top minus 1. So this is basically, see, in array things begin with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? Because this is an array. And what will be minus 1? Minus 1 is something like this. So like in linked list we saw that for head we are defining it as null, right? For head we are defining as null. Initially top is defined as minus 1, just saying that it's an initial value. It can be minus 99 also, nothing to worry about. Just a convention to keep it minus 1. So now what happens here, I am doing push here. So when I do push 10, basically this happens. So my first element becomes 10 and now my top will be pointing to the element which is on the top, right? So if you can see, my array has only one element which is 10. Then what do? You do a push of 20. So when you do a push of 20, what happens is you keep 20 above 10 and then remove the top to point it to the top element, right? So the position of top is always changing. Next, what do? You actually push 30 into the stack, right? So what happens when you push 30 into the stack? You remove top from here, 30 anyways will be on the top and top will be pointing to this element. So you can see as and when you are adding the elements, 20 gets above 10, 30 gets above 20 and so on. If I insert 40, then 40 will be above 30. If I insert 60, then it will be above 50, something like this. Now what I am doing? I am doing pop operation, right? This is pop operation. So what happens in a pop operation? So let me denote pop by the red color. So what happens? Now pop will basically remove 30 here. pop will erase 30. Now since this element is removed, my top basically will be pointing to this particular element, which is 20, because it always points to the topmost element of the stack. You can assume plate 30 and then plate 20, right? Now what I am doing, I am again doing a pop operation here. In the pop operation, what I am doing, so I will again remove 20. So top will change, and now top will point to this position. Top will point to 10, right? So we are not doing pop anymore. If you do pop again, so what will happen? 10 will be removed and top will come to -1. Top -1 indicates an empty stack, right? The stack is empty, right? So very simple operation and very intuitive. You have seen this in your life also. So let me just run the code. So what I do after every push, I am actually displaying the elements of the array so that you can get a clear picture of what is happening. See, first I insert push 10. So let me show the code once again. I do a push 10. After doing push 10, so it says pushing element on the top, which is 10. So right now the array has only 10, right? Then you again do a push 20. So when you do a push 20, you can see the elements are 10, 20. So see, in array, basically, if you see in this particular case, although the elements are inserted at the top, you will actually read, if you read from the start to end, you will actually see 10, 20. But basically the top element is nothing but 20. Again, when you are pushing 30, the elements become 10, 20, 30, and the element at the top is 30. The example that we saw. Then what I am doing? I am doing a pop operation. So basically, stack is also known as last in, first out. So this is basically called as LIFO, where L, I, F, and O. That's it. So last in mean whatever element was inserted last, in this case it was 30, will be removed or will be outset first. So that means 30 will be removed first. So you can see this is 30. And now what will pop do? Pop basically will remove the last element, so it will remove 30. So this pop will basically remove 20. So exactly the reverse order of insertion is in stack. So you insert ABCD, you remove DCBA. 1, 2, 3, 4 is inserted, 4, 3, 2, 1 is removed, right? So you can see popping element at the top, which is 30. So basically elements left in the array are 10 and 20 because 30 is removed. Now I remove element 20 from the array, which was at the top, and then only elements remaining are 10, right? So this is how it works. Fine. So the array logic is very simple. So whenever you are doing a push operation, now let us go to the definition. Right click here, go to definition. So whenever you are doing push, right, as in the example of plates, you just need to check whether there is sufficient space for entering new plate. So what we do, for example, in this case, right, we had a max of 5. Max is 5. Max is 5 means 0 to 4. That means n minus 1. Right? So 0 to n minus 1 is happening. So whenever you want to insert, right, you have to see where is the position of the top. If top is basically at position number 4, you cannot insert any more element. That actually is known as a stack overflow. Overflow means it is beyond the limit. What happens in an overflow? A river flows above the prescribed limits, right? So the logic is, first you check whether where is my top element. So in this case our stack was empty, so it will not go into this loop. So first what we do, first we increment the top position. So let me just draw a very simple stack here. So this was top -1. So what happens here? I am doing top plus plus. So my top basically is pointing to this position. This is now top. And then what I do, array of top. What was array of top? Array of 0 basically is the element x which we have inserted. So in this case, this becomes 10, right? Similarly, next time what will happen? Max size is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. So what is the value of top right now? Top is 0 right now, right? And the content is 10. So what will we do? We will do top plus plus and then array of top as x. So top plus plus will basically bring me at this position. I will insert 20. This will be top and so on. So very simple concept. So 10, 20 and again 30, top will be here, right? So if you want to see stack overflow error, so let me insert two more elements because the element size is 5, right? Push 30, push 40, push 50, right? So you can see all the elements are inserted properly, pushing element at the top 30, 40, 50. 5 was our maximum size, right? So now let me insert 60 in the stack. 60 is the sixth element and our max size is 5. So it should not allow us to insert. So you can see after 50, it says stack is overflow. Why? Because we have reached the maximum size. Similarly for pop, what we do, we exactly do the reverse operation here, right? We first display what was at the top and instead of top plus plus, we do top minus minus. That is all the logic of stack. That's it. Nice. So very easy to understand, very easy to have an intuition here, right? So it's 12:20. So we take a break for 5 minutes and then we see how can we do stack using linked list, right? So we meet at 12:28. Fine. Yeah. So yeah, I removed it today and I rearranged it. Acha, array of top. Just a minute. In the pop function, this one. Okay. In some books you will refer something like of this thing, right? This is what you're asking. Yeah. So what happens here in this case? See, if we remember the so let's say you have an array and top minus minus. This is for the pop operation. So basically what happens, if you see, top in our case is an integer, right? So we have an integer top which was initialized globally and it is -1, right? So when you do a pop operation like this, so let me first show you the output just to see that is it working, right? So popping is 50 and 40. So here we are achieving two things with the same objective. So see, when you do array top minus minus, okay, so you already know what is pre-increment. Pre means before. So this becomes like plus plus I and we have a post increment. That is post means afterwards. So the increment appears post of this. So now let's say if I do x is equal to 5 and if I do printf plus plus I, what will be the output? It will be actually 6 because I am incrementing before and then I am displaying the value. Fine. If I do printf I plus plus, right, assuming this line is again x equal to 5, the output here will be actually 5. But now if I do printf I, this I will be actually 6. So what happens in pre and post increment is like, in pre increment, this is pre increment. In pre increment, the addition is done previously and it is stored in the variable and then it is displayed. So you increment, you store and then display. So you increment, store and display. What happens in post increment? You basically display, then increment and then store, right? So basically this comes to this position like a circle. So when I'm doing something like array of top minus minus, so what I do here, see top minus minus, assume top was actually 4. So what will I do? Since it's a post decrement, right? So I will first display, which is original, then increment. So internally these are two operations, display array of top and do top minus minus, right? Even if you are writing array top minus minus, the minus minus will reflect after this entire execution has taken place, right? So you may see in some textbooks also, right? For this, for pushing they make like this, just to do a shorthand. For pushing they do like this. Now here what happens, top will be incremented first and then the value change takes place, right? Top will be incremented first and then the value change takes place. But I didn't want to confuse you, so I basically edited the code and kept it to a simple logic. There is nothing much charm in doing such kind of stupid things which makes things complicated, right? But actually we are not just printing the popped elements, but still the popped elements in the arrays, right? Yeah, Karnam, you are absolutely right. The elements are still existing in the array, but in stack, you are making an assumption that you only have the top pointer with you, nothing else. You don't know what is the array. You don't know whether it's an array or a linked list or something else. You can only have the element top with you. And with top, you have to access everything. So where top goes, only that element you have access. But yeah, your question is correct. The elements are still accessed in the array. You can array them using a subscript. You can say array of 4, array of 3. You can still access those elements. We are not physically deleting. Actually, when you do it using a linked list, you will actually see there we make use of free. And in that case, we are actually freeing up the memory space which is being used, right? So, but a very good observation, I must appreciate. So now you have stack using linked list, right? So you have seen already what is happening in the linked list operation. So let me just tell you the logic first. I think you all are now understanding enough of linked list. See, what was the property of stack that we saw? This is 10, 20, 30. So insert at top and delete at top, right? And you know what is linked list? Linked list is like our bogie train connected to one another. And this is the head node, which is nothing but the engine. Always good to show an arrow using linked list, so you know. And this is our last bogie, right? So let me place some dummy elements here. Let us use brown. 10, 20, 30, right? Now if you see, you have done linked list, right? Inserting at the beginning, inserting at the end. Now see what happens here. If you want to insert something at the top, which is equivalent to insert at the head node, right? So let's say this is a stack here, 10, 20, 30, right? Basically it will be reverse actually. This will be, okay, let me draw it again. If it is 10, 20, 30, it will be like this. So first 10 is inserted, then after 20 comes, it should be like this. After 30 comes, this will be head initially, then this will be head initially in the next step, and then finally we have head. If we insert 30, it will be like this. Right? So you can see every time I'm inserting at the beginning of the linked list, and you have already seen how to insert at the beginning of a linked list, right? You have already seen how do you insert at the beginning of a linked list. Now let me show you the concept of deletion. What happen if I want to pop, right? Pop is deletion, push is insertion. So but on online and books you will always see push pop, push pop. They don't say insert delete, they say push and pop. So when I'm popping, what will I pop? I will actually pop the top element, which is 30. So what I need to do, I need to adjust head to point to 20, right? Now if I need to pop 20, if I need to pop this, what will I do? I will actually do head to 10, and that's it. So if you see, if I want to implement linked list, then this will be insert at head and this will be delete at head, right? Both are top. Top means the start means the head in linked list, right? So if I just show you the code here, right? In the code, basically you will see, let me just execute the code. So same output only, but since this is linked list, you can have a better view. You can see what I'm doing, and this is the same code, right? Push 10, then push 20, push 30. Now one thing to observe here is that when you are popping, you don't specify the element what you want to pop. Why? Because as I said, in the stack, you always have a top pointer. Whatever you pop, the top pointer will always be popped, right? In a stack, you cannot do something like this. For example, your stack is 10, 20, and 30. You cannot say pop 20, right? You don't have so much freedom in stack. You can only say pop. Pop will say, okay, I am at this position, I am popping 30, right? So stack is a little bit of less freedom to you, but it provides you with a more flexibility actually, right? So now let me just show you an example of the linked list thing. So initially what we are doing 10, 20, 30. So you can see initially there was 10, then it became 20, 10, similar to this. And then it became 30, 20 and 10. Just what we saw here, 30, 20 and 10. Now what we are doing, we are popping 2. So we are seeing we are actually removing the head element which is 30. Then we are removing the head element which is 20. And finally we have 10. Right? If you want to see the push definition, you can just run the code. Go to definition. So see what I am doing. I am creating a new node here, just like we used to do in linked list. We give the data and the link, and we point the link to the head. That's it. Nothing much. And if we want to pop the element, what we are doing in case of pop, we first check whether the head is not equal to null. Why? Because it may happen that the stack is already empty or the linked list is empty. Else we just say, see, we are doing free del here. So Karnam, in this case, you actually lose the value of the element, right? Why? Because you are freeing a node using dynamic mechanism. You are using free here, right? For malloc, you are using memory allotment, and for free, you are actually freeing the memory, right? So just a simple implementation. Linked list we have already seen. We need a data and a link. Initially, we point the head to null, right? And if we want to traverse the linked list, right? So what we do in display function? So what we were doing in a linked list function, we start from the head and traverse till we get the null element, right? Same thing here. So display, right click here, go to definition. You can see we assign the head to a temporary variable temp. And while temporary is not equal to null, we display the data with every linked list. And we just go temp equal to temp arrow link. Right? So as you saw, it's a very simple implementation of array and linked list and stack. So now let me just tell you what happens when you do your favorite thing, Control Z, undo. Right? So I think everybody must have used Microsoft Word. Oh, sorry, pen color red. Right, Microsoft Word. Right? So let me just start for you. Oh, this is WordPad. Okay, so let me write something. So I will write the batch of 2020 is amazing. Fine. So now what happens? Now let us see in the example of a stack. So if I do Control Z, so you can see everything is erased here, right? Because I actually paused after T. So what happens here? Now let me do, I will make this bold. Batch of 2020, I will make italic, and I will make it to red font. So what I did, let me just show you a practical example. Let me make a stack here. So the batch of 2020 is amazing. Then what I did, I made amazing as bold. Then what I did, I made italic batch of 2020, and then I made red the word the, right? Now let's say when I do a control Z, what you are doing, so assume this is your stack, right? So you make it like this, right? So first I wrote the batch of 2020 is amazing. Then I made amazing world as bold. Then I did italic batch of 2020. Then I did red in basically the word the, I made it red, right? So now this is my stack top. So what does Microsoft Word do? Microsoft Word basically keeps such a stack of everything that you do stepwise. Now when you press Ctrl Z, let's say now you type CTRL plus Z, which is your favorite key. So what will Ctrl Z do? It will remove the top element of the array, and now the top is here, right? So what happens when I do Ctrl Z? You can see the is now in the black color. Why? Because what I did here, red the, it just removed this and restored it. Again, when I press Ctrl Z here, so you can see batch of 2020. So what happens? Top moves from this position to this position, right? And similarly, so on. See, amazing is gone. Why? Because I did Ctrl Z. Now top basically comes to the first line, and this is erased. So this is an application of stack, right? So now there is also something called as redo. I can do Control Y. So what happens in Control Y? The Office keeps a track. So it will do top plus plus, and I will actually do amazing as bold. So see, you can see just the pointer moving up and down, right? So this undo and redo is a classical example of stack, right? And for example, there are of course various applications. There is something called as infix to postfix, but I think that is too complicated for now, right? And then the last program is nothing but just what I'm doing. I am just combining the linked list into a nice menu driven program, right? So what is a push an element? So let's say I am choosing the option 1, I am pushing 10. Then again I am pushing an element 20. Again I am pushing an element 30, right? So you can see 10, 20, 30. So now let us see whether count and display elements in a stack is 5. So when I do 5, you can see 30, 20 and 10 is coming. Of course 30 is a top element, and size of the stack, basically number of elements in the stack is 3. Right, now let us pop, what it will pop? It will pop 30. So you can see when I enter 2, value popped is 30. Now let us check again array contents. You can see it is only 20 and 10, right? Seventh option is print top of the stack. So when I do top of the stack, it should have been 20. So you can see top of the stack is 20. So you can class just go through this program. Gaurav, Control C alone will not work actually. Control V also has to be used along with it. So you should rephrase your sentence. Anyway, it was on a lighter note only. Fine. So class, this was the application of stack. And Control Z, undo and redo is a classical example of stack. Fine. So class, we are stopping here for today, right? For endsems, I won't keep stacks and queue with respect to codes, but I may ask some applications of it, right? So don't worry about this endsem quiz. It will not have much content on stack and queue, which I will teach tomorrow, right? Because I know you are already overburdened and you have much of the subjects to study, right? Linked list also I will try to keep very basic questions only. How do you declare a linked list and how do you insert at the start, if at all, if I keep. Fine. So we are stopping for today, just 40 minutes, and tomorrow's lecture will also be short, right? It will be queue actually. I don't want to confuse you between stack and queue on the same day. Fine. So class, we are stopping for today. CS112. See, I have requested them not to give, right? Because we are covering the very basics. But in a IIT system or in a faculty positions, you cannot force anyone, that they can or they cannot give. I have only requested them to avoid giving stack queue as such. So hope for the best. For CS102 and SEM, definitely stack queue will not be there, right? CS102 and SEM assignment, definitely stack and queue will not be there. That you can be rest assured for that. Darshat, you're sending both the smileys, right? So what is the final? I guess. Okay, too many smileys. Somehow you all make too much smileys. Uh, Modern generation, actually. Anyways, guys, so we stop today. Wish you all the best. CS112Q, it's already asked. Yeah, I'm sorry. What can I do? I have asked them, but see, it's not difficult. You are anyways an online batch. You have become masters of seeing things online and learning, right? So I just hope. Hence, I wrote 2020 batch is amazing. So that's for real. Anyways, guys, so end of the lecture today. I will upload on YouTube and have a good day. We meet tomorrow.